Alright, there she is. So, about 5 years ago, I found this on Craigslist. Turbo 2, I've been looking for a Turbo 2 for a super long time. I have a non-turbo RX7 FC3S, loved it, drove it since I was 19, delivered pizza in it, drove it for many years. Autocrossed it a little bit. It's just a great, lightweight, nimble chassis. Rotary engine obviously is awesome. Always wanted a turbo, so I found this in San Francisco. I offered the guy $2,300. It was running. He took it. I flew up there. Natalie and I flew up there, drove it all the way back home, spent the night in it like a Top Gear special. Slept in the tiny little back there, put my head towards the taillights, my feet towards the shifter. Drove it all the way to San Diego from San Francisco, no problems. And then it had, I think it had a starting issue. It wouldn't start. Took it to a guy, Wine and Racing. He stripped out all the vacuum lines and wired in a Haltech ECU for me. And from there, rented a U-Haul truck and a U-Haul trailer, drove it up to LA, had them do a dyno tune. Before that, I installed a new fuel pump, Walboro 255, I believe, that I got from like an off-road. Only place I had it was like an off-road store in San Diego. So after that, they did a dyno tune for me, came and picked it up, and it was insane. I picked it up at night, the air temps were cool. She ripped. 300 flywheel horsepower, I'm not sure the wheel horsepower. It has a single cat, otherwise the boost creep would be insane. Because at that point it still had the stock internal wastegate on the stock turbo, so it wasn't able to release enough pressure when the wastegate opened. It's now since been ported wastegate, so it shouldn't be an issue. I still want to keep that catalytic converter in there for now. You know, maybe run the test pipe at the dyno tune to see if it has any boost creep, but without an external wastegate, I'm not sure if I can run a full open exhaust. We'll see. Yeah, and then after about 2 weeks of driving it with 300 horsepower and living my best life, having the greatest time of my life, it blew a coolant seal. And since then, I had the engine rebuilt by Jim's Rotary here in near San Diego. Let's go into the bad before we get to the good. So the bad is the body has some issues. The paint has some issues. It's missing the 10th anniversary edition badges on the fenders. It does have the 10th anniversary wheels, the original 10th anniversary engine and turbo. The taillights, obviously, the only one that came with white trim taillights. The wing is in okay condition. A little bit of rust, not too bad though. A little bit of rust up here on the sunroof. Not too bad on the undercarriage compared to like a Midwest. My Midwest FC is just rotted out with rust. I think there's little wonky things that can be pounded out. And then I think there's like, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a funky dent right here, which hopefully can be pounded out easily. The plan is to just sand it, prime it, and then maybe do like a flat white on it with Plasti Dip, see how that looks, and then eventually down the road, spend some money on a paint job to get it back to OEM white. So that's the bad. The bad is bodywork, which does not affect the, you know what I mean, like, it could be worse. Oh, by the way, as soon as I got this car over here, I locked the keys in the car and had to Google how to break into my own car. Oh, the other thing, this seat's gotta go. 1988. 1988. Have I had it on manual focus this whole time? Oops. So 1988 seats, and They look like 1988 seats. Yeah, so the seats are not the best. Apparently it has from the factory, this edition had a Momo steering wheel and a Momo shifter, which I didn't know about. That's kind of cool. It does have a cracked dash, which I'm not very excited about. That's another negative. But let's talk about the good. The good news. Limited slip differential from the factory. So here's the good news. This right here. That is a freshly rebuilt 13B turbo. It has aviation apex seals that are supposed to be a lot more robust. It's got a turbo with no shaft play. The right size turbo, in my opinion. Not going for peak horsepower. I'm going for fast spool and usable horsepower, track days autocross. What else? So aviation apex seals, RX7 eccentric shaft, which is a little bit lighter weight. Racing beat, lightened flywheel. Stock ports, so I didn't have it ported. It's got stock ports. I'm hoping that will keep the low end torque high and the spool fast. Trying to maintain that original drivability that it came with. Bigger injectors, I'd have to look. I want to say they're like 1100 or 1500 secondaries. I could be wrong. I might have it backwards. Primaries, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up in the paperwork. What else? So what's left is I picked up a Haltech ECU, the Elite 550 from Nelson Tuning. If you need any rotary ECU stuff or a tune, I highly recommend him. Nelson Tuning. He knows rotaries. He's safely tuned really high horsepower race cars and whatnot. Or give him a safe tune, reliable tune. So check him out if you're looking for a tune, or he gave me a really good deal on my ECU. It was after Black Friday, but he gave me like the Black Friday price. It was cool. What else? Brakes are stock. The stock brakes are actually 4-pot in the front. Really good OEM brakes for the weight of the car and the size of the car. They do great. 4 pots in the front, 2 pots in the rear, I believe. What else? A really big fart cannon. Look at this thing. Massive fart cannons in the previous owner. I kind of like it. It has a really bassy sound to it. I believe I want to say it's 3-inch exhaust. All the way up to like a little catalytic converter, which keeps my boost creep from going crazy until I can get the tune figured out. The plan is to do suspension and wheels, get rid of these pizza cutters, or I'd love to have these pizza cutters custom widened. I just love OEM 80s wheels that have been custom widened, so I wouldn't have to run spacers or anything. But I think I'm going to get some period correct wheels, the right offset, no rubbing, and probably some Tane. I really like the Tane Flex Z coilovers on my Subaru. If you turn them up to full, they're really stiff, great for racing. You can dial in understeer, oversteer, whatever you prefer with the adjustable dampers, and then if you dial them to like halfway soft, like position 8 on the 16 position adjustment, it's almost softer than stock. It's really comfortable on the street and really great in the canyons, bumpy roads, whatever. And then you can really turn them up stiff if you're on like a really smooth surface. Really like them. Probably gonna go with the same on the RX7. What else? I think that's it. Next steps are trimming off the old Haltech ECU, which I think is fried. E6X, really old, I think it's fried. So I gotta trim the plug, all this rat's nest of wiring. I gotta trim all or most of those out, depin this plug, and repin it into the new plug. Slap the 550 in here, and then I can get the first fire up and break in done, and then it's off to the dyno. Wish me luck.